curse would be laid upon them.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Voices from the Mausoleum, and welcome back to our almost season finale or series finale of Two Friends and a Conspiracy Theory. One this episode, and then one more.
Yep. So, what do they call that? Where it's like just before the finale? I don't know. Oh well,
I was gonna say I feel like there is something it's called,
like
but
there is, but it's not in our mind. So we'll just cut this part out of the episode. We can't have people thinking we don't know what we're talking about here.
Every time Radar tells me to cut something out, I don't. I just shit. Yeah. So last week's episode, we dove into the Roswell conspiracy, the 1947 Roswell incident, and so that means this week it's your turn.
And it is my last one.
Yes.
And of course, we both picked 5 before we started this series.
Yeah.
So you know what's coming because we're at the last one.
I forgot.
Well, that's good because I was going to tell you you don't because I changed it. Bamboozle.
So
also, I forgot. Right? I forgot my own one, and I was like, "Oops." But that's all right because I found one that's still pretty interesting. This will be a pretty quick episode, but I just wanted to cover it. And it is the 27 Club, if you've ever heard of it.
I don't think so. We'll see based on the information you share. I love how you're just like, I just do whatever I want. I don't.
I'm a maverick. I do what I want. No one's going to stop me. I don't think I don't remember what your other one. I have it written down somewhere though. I'm gonna go back and look, but I don't remember either. It wasn't the 27 Club because I didn't remember about the 27 Club until like I was researching Mount Rushmore and was like, oh fuck, what was the last episode I need to do research on? And I went, well, it's the 27 Club now, so.
Totally fine. We got to pick whichever ones we wanted to cover anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But that's just funny. You were like, you think you know, but you don't. But I didn't anyway because I forgot to. So.
And of course, I also forgot your last one. So we have no idea what the other person's doing. That is the moral of this story.
Yes, we took our list and then we just gave up on everything.
We just crossed it and went, why did we do that? But so the 27 Club.
Okay.
Now this one isn't too well. I guess it is pretty historical, but I think it's more pop culture based than anything. So the 27 Club is a very elite group. All right, I'm going to list off some famous members for you. All right, we have Brian Jones, Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, Jim Morrison, Kurt Cobain, and many, many, many others.
So it's music based?
It is music based to begin with, but it branched out to other people. And what these all have in common is they all died when they were 27 years old. All of them did. Which is very
so into this episode. You had my attention, now you've got my curiosity, or the other way around. You had my curiosity, now you have my attention.
So yes, all these musicians died at the age of 27.
Okay.
And it's just a crazy coincidence too that it happened. But so basically this became an idea in 71, 72, because Janis Joplin, Jimi Hendrix, Jim Morrison, these big three musicians, I think maybe Brian Johnson too. Yeah, Brian Johnson too. One of the original members of the Rolling Stones. These like influential musicians all died in a 2-year span, all at the same age. And people went, what if there's a club?
Yeah, there's going to be something there.
What if there's something connecting them together?
Okay.
And another kind of like smaller mini conspiracy theory
Mhm.
was that a lot of people thought that they could identify in like photographs and stuff of the musicians' places and everything like that, that
Mhm.
there were white lighters at each of their places.
That sounds familiar for
The
some.
white lighter.
The lighters do. Go ahead.
Yeah, but so people also came up with this mini theory that white lighters for musicians were bad luck, and you shouldn't have
Yeah.
them
Okay.
because
Yeah.
you would die from that. And they were Bic lighters, and then eventually someone came out and was like, "Well, Bic didn't start making lighters until like the mid '70s, y'all." So, oops, theory fell apart there. But it was like a mini conspiracy that for a while was like, oh yeah, it's bad luck to have a white lighter. If you are any type of musician or creative, don't have one.
And people were just like, yep, makes sense. Got it.
You're like, okay, perfect. You gave me the barest of facts, and
I understood. No white.
yeah. And so that it was just an idea. The 27 Club was just an idea at that point. It wasn't until Kurt Cobain passed that people went, okay, this is a thing, and it entered the mainstream. And so
weird.
And so it has gained a little bit of ground over time. It's still not like a huge thing, but Amy Winehouse, when she passed in 2011, also got brought up. She was also 27.
Dang.
Pretty wild. And then the most recent sort of like one that I know of anyways is Anton Yelchin.
Mm-hmm.
He was in the Star Trek reboot series. He was an actor.
Oh yeah.
The freak accident with the car. He was also 27. It's very strange that there's like, these.
But he's just an actor.
Yeah, he was just an actor. Well, he could play piano, I believe, too.
Okay.
But yeah, so they're like, they kind of branched out a bit. Someone puts Tyler Skaggs, who was a baseball pitcher. They put him in there because he was 27. So they're kind of just branching out now. But most people tend to stick that it's like these are for musicians. And there was Jeff Buckley, I think. He's not on the list I have here, but Jeff Buckley or Jeff Wheatley, he does an incredible cover of Hallelujah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was starting to break out. He died at 27 also in a freak boating accident. So like just all these different various people, these musicians are all dying at 27.
It's because we're in a simulation. It's a pre-programmed event.
My God. We're breaking out, y'all.
I'm done.
Screen glitches for a second.
Yeah.
So, a lot of people were thinking that like, oh, there's got to be something behind this. Maybe it's just bad luck.
Yeah.
Maybe there's something connecting them. But a prevalent theory of this, you have to go back to the founding original member of the 27 Club, a man named Robert Johnson. And Robert Johnson was an African-American musician who was born in 1911. He died in 1938. And he is the man, he recorded what a lot of people have attributed, at least the most famous version of the song Crossroad. Where, I met the devil at a crossroad.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
all I could think of was that Bone Thugs and Harmony song. I see you at the cross. That's the only thing I was like, that cannot be the one he's talking about.
That was it, actually. No.
Okay, I know what song you're talking about now.
So, he wrote that song. And a lot of people, like, there's a few accounts, not verified though, that Robert Johnson sucked at playing guitar. Like, he was bad at it. And then randomly, he went off. No one saw him for a year or two, came back, and like, he's really, like, his guitar playing is very impressive for 38. And it's like for the 30s, 20s, and 30s. It's very innovative too. Very innovative. And like, a lot of people attribute him to helping like found like what became modern blues, which of course then became rock.
Rock, yeah.
And so a lot of people believe, because he died young, he died at 27. Apparently they lost his body. So oops.
What?
Yeah. So like, no one knows where his body is. So that just kind of helped add to the mystery element.
Yeah,
of it.
that's
Like,
freaky.
oops, where'd his body go? And
Because they saw him dead, I assume, to be like, yeah, he's dead. And then they didn't know where he went after that.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the coroner's office made an oopsie and it fell off the truck or something while they were taking it to the cemetery. Who knows? Who knows? But there's also just not much known about him. And that's probably because he was a bit of a wanderer. And Lord knows at the turn of the 20th century, it's not easy to keep track of people. You know, people could disappear off the face of the earth. Easy peasy.
Accidentally get cremated. That's a thing, right?
Yeah, so maybe that's what happened. But so, a lot of people started to say Robert Johnson sold his soul to the devil so he could be really good at guitar and get famous.
I believe it. We have to write that. We gotta write that as a story.
That's a story.
That's a story.
He wasn't even trying to hide an angel. He put it in the song Crossroad. What are you doing?
Because who the hell was going to believe it?
No one.
No one.
And so it's a theory now that all these members of the 27 Club sold their soul to the devil so they could get, good at music and stuff. And they threw in the guy who was in the Star Trek reboot just because.
Just to make it stronger, I guess. Well, because the range of incidences is what? Suicide, drug use, and freak accidents. So it's all very
it's all very over the place. It's not now. I feel like
everybody died this specific way.
Right. Do you think it would add more credence to the conspiracy if they all died the exact same way? Or do you think
I believe it. If they all died the same way, I would believe in this theory. I would just be like, no, this is true. Like, I don't believe in the devil, but I don't know for sure if I do or don't believe that there's like a bad, like a negative or multiple negative things that could impact. I don't know what I buy and all that stuff, but that would at least make me wonder if it could be possible, because then it's like, well, that's more than just big coincidences, right? Like that's like if that were the case, that is.
Right. And I mean, like, if it was like, that's weird. That's the sixth person who's become uber famous and recorded music who has died specifically choking on chicken. I don't know, just for an example.
Yes, it would be hard to. It would be so hard to just be like, yeah, whatever. If that happened, I'd be like, hold on, tell me more about this. Like, yeah, catch my attention.
We got something going on here.
There's something to this. I don't know.
Yeah, but it is interesting that they all these big musicians died at the age of 27. But it's like the perfect thing that we talked about, why conspiracies get formed. It's because, these musicians were they were leaders of a huge movement, a huge group. So millions and millions of people thought so highly of them that it's just weird that they could die from these natural for the ones in the 70s. Yeah. It was all basically drug related for the ones in the 60s and 70s. Except for, I guess, Brian Johnson, because he drowned, but that was because he was under the influence of substances when he was in the pool.
Right. Yep.
But, it's just hard for them, these people to wrap their minds around the idea that they just died from these things that you or I could die from. And so there has to be maybe something else like Satan.
Has to be more. Yeah, because they're on like a pedestal, right? Like they're
like
they're
up
up
here.
on like, yeah.
So it makes more sense to blame it on the devil than go, this is just a natural occurrence, which, it's tough. And our minds automatically see patterns and stuff. And I can totally understand that, because when I first heard about the 27 Club, I was like, whoa, that is wild. That all these people that I knew, died at that age.
I've never thought about the ages. I've never thought about that.
Yeah. And it's so wild to think, because especially with Jimi Hendrix, because he's such a huge cultural icon in every sense of the word. He was famous for 4 years, Angel.
I hadn't even I've never thought about that,
was
honestly.
67 to 70, 71, like very brief.
Weird. I've never thought about that though.
Yeah, just like, you know, so it is like kind of weird to go like, but he left such an imprint that you're like, maybe there was something supernatural. But
I've never even thought about that. That's a good point though.
Yeah, and this is such an interesting, like, kind of mini conspiracy theory to just talk about, that I was like, I got to bring this up as my last one.
No, that's a cool one though. I don't think I'd ever heard of it. I think I had heard that white lighters were bad luck, but I don't think I knew where it came from. So that was kind of neat to learn. Yeah.
It came from all of the boomer musician icons dying off at once.
Yeah.
Except for the who unfortunately just limped along for a long time afterwards. Let's look. You talk to anyone. The Who sucked in the late 70s and the 80s. They were bad.
You said you talk to anyone.
You talk to anyone over the age of 60, and they will tell you. Over the age of 60 and me, and they will tell you that the Who sucked in the late 70s to early
80s. Well, no, I'm glad you did that one. I didn't know that one. That's spooky, though. I like it. My wheels are turning.
It's like it's the right kind of, like, I feel like for us as like horror lovers, it feels more horror driven than a lot of other conspiracy theories.
Yes. No, I am inclined to agree with that.
They should make a 27 Club type horror movie. I don't know, maybe that would be disrespectful. I'm
seriously going to write a book.
She's writing it.
I'm serious.
Stay tuned, Voices from the Mausoleum fans. This is the next book Angel comes out with.
Because what? Well, that's not true, because my next 2025 is the year of the wolf for me, so I'm only putting out werewolf books. But I've got I'm thinking about some stuff. Well, no, cool. I'm glad I didn't know this one, so that's really cool. I didn't know. What's interesting is our series finale is also about musicians.
Ooh, there we go. So, I mean,
your hint for next week's episode.
That's your hint. Everyone fan out. Think of it.
Well, cool. Well, that's going to wrap up this episode of Two Friends and a Conspiracy Theory then. Radar's links, as always, are going to be in the description, as well as our limited logo. Once the episodes wrap, you have about a week or so, and then you won't be able to get this logo ever again.
Ever again.
Ever again. We can if we want to, because Angel owns the image and can do whatever she wants, but nobody else. Well, cool. Well, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us on this episode of Two Friends and a Conspiracy Theory. We hope you have a good rest of your week. Enjoy your weekend, and we will see you next week.